Hey everyone, welcome back to the Life and Wonder channel. Today we're going to talk about planning for the year and a few different methods of planning for the year. Some of us are familiar with the physical vision boarding method, right? Grabbing magazines, cutting them out, finding the images and visuals that speak to your goals for the year, gluing them or taping them onto a board. That's one method. The other method is the digital vision boarding. Maybe you're pulling up Canva and you're using Pinterest to find the images that you need, um, and digitizing that experience and plastering it on your wallpaper. The third is the newest form of, I guess, vision boarding for me, which is the bingo card method. And that's essentially gamifying crushing your goals for the year. So I'm going to talk through all three. And I guess what you can take away from this is based on your own personality, your own level of creativity, which method you are using or would like to use, that you feel will help kind of lead you to hitting your goals further than just maybe writing it as a SMART goal out on a planner. And you can do that as well. I've done it. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's talk about the physical vision boarding. I've actually socialized vision boarding. With my friends and cousins, we'd actually once a year get together. We'd bring, markers and magazines, which were actually in easier. It was actually easier to get magazines then than it is now. And we would come together, we'd have food, and then we would just, go at it, just talk through our goals. Like we actually had it's a pretty structured experience. So we would talk about our goals and then kind of jump into the actual crafting of the vision board. So physical boards, they would actually be pretty large. So um, it was a fun experience. What I found is for me, I don't like the I don't like the process of building the physical vision board. I get lost in finding the images that speaks to me in order to say this is a reminder of what that goal is for you. For me, that was not fun. And I over time began to kind of loathe that experience, but I enjoyed the social part of it. And then on top of that, with the vision board, obviously you can do them in large or small sizes. Um, you know, we always gravitated towards the larger ones. So then just having a place for it in your home and putting it somewhere, after a while, it would just like get in the way. So I would say the physical vision boarding is my least favorite approach to um, goal setting. However, the vision board parties was great for connecting, great for kind of, maybe problem solving through some of the things and some of the challenges that I might have been facing because we talked about our challenges. It was a very vulnerable experience, but also fun. Um, I guess because we typically go off on a tangent, sometimes the goal of the evening would not feel like it was meant for me. I didn't fully feel like I walked away with a completed vision board experience, but I felt like my social battery was filled in a good way. So, the act of cutting and pasting for magazines, not really fun and thrilling for me. I'm not a crafty person in that way. Um, Eventually it became out of sight and out of mind. And visibility is everything when it comes to hitting your goals, especially if you're doing the vision board to begin with. So, the physical vision board is one method. That's the more traditional method. If you're a crafty person, if you enjoy the act of finding the magazines and finding the images, flipping through the pages, pulling the words, cutting the phrases, cute phrases, and picking the cutest typography and graphics, definitely jump in and go for it. Now, the digital vision board, that's a bit different. So, for the digital vision board, for the last maybe 3 years or so, I've been using this method. And to be honest, when I made the decision to transition to digital, I still kind of like cringed, like, am I going to try this? Am I going to like this? Is this going to work in my favor? But because it's digital, it kind of like opened my mind to how I can actually plan a layout for the board using Canva and also using Pinterest. So it, one, I don't have to seek out magazines or, old books or anything like that to then glue or tape the paper onto a board. Actually, it was almost like the opportunities were endless, the creativity level to the top. So I used Canva as my canvas and Pinterest as my image source. And I started with, what I did was, so I had already done like 20 different goals, varying from health and wellness, family, um, finances, friendship. I had like SMART goals already written in my planner, and I just pretty much converted those to kind of images. So I started with like topics around health and wellness, my studio at the time, as the blueprint, and then I found images that I liked that matched. So copied from Pinterest, pasted into Canva, done. Clean, fast, intentional, could work as hard can work as long or as short as I intended. And this worked for me because um, the board became the wallpaper on both my phone and my desktop. And you and I both know that we are on our phones and our desks or laptops more than we should. So you can't really avoid it, it's always in your face. And then I also included a theme word, which lived on the board as well to keep kind of like the year's intention front and center. And this was a constant, the constant passive check ins without even like trying. It just became embedded in you or in me to actually, hit my goals the way that I wanted to. And I did pretty well over those years as well. So, who is this for? This is for visually motivated people who prefer digital native creativity over crafting. So, people who are always on their screens anyway, who make the screen work for their goals. Those who want something polished and portable, more efficient, more pragmatic, I guess you could say. So, my key takeaway is this method goes everywhere with me, and that's the whole point. You always want to be reminded, you always want to allow yourself to be intentional on a monthly, weekly, daily basis of what you're looking to get out of your current year. So for me, the digital vision board was great. But then I learned about this bingo card method through another channel. And I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll try that. I like to gamify things. I've been able to do successful work doing some of the most mundane tasks in my career, all because I kind of reframed my approach through gamifying. So I said, you know what? Let's try this bingo card method because it seems interesting. So as of this year, we're only 3 months in, but I've been working on the bingo method, my bingo card, as you can see, and it's going great. I enjoy this method. So and I started with 15 to 20 SMART goals across life categories: health, finance, romance, family, personal growth, etc. And each goal got reduced to a single topic. So a topic square on a 5x5 Canva card. So, example, read 20 books, a variety, not just self help, socialize with friends at least once a month. And why this approach is hitting differently, as I mentioned, is because it's gamified. There's a built in reward psychology for checking off a square and chasing that bingo. There are built in checkpoint moments. So, at my halfway mark, I'm going to see how I'm progressing. Do I need to ramp it up a little? Could I maybe put more focus in other areas? Where am I seeing the potential of hitting bingo? Which is going to be pretty cool. It's also more engaging and interactive than passively just viewing the board. And, only 3 months in, and I would say this is definitely a contender against the digital vision board. So, caveat, and this is important for, credibility. It's still early, so the verdict comes at the 6 month and 12 month with how I actually truly feel about this, but I'm feeling good. So, who is this for? This is for people who are goal oriented, love structure with a fun twist. Anyone who responds well to gamification and progress, tracking. Um, Creatives who want flexibility in design, but clarity in execution. This is why you would go the bingo card method. It's fun as I'm trying to do this. And I'm thinking about maybe doing this for another year. But like I said, we're only 3 months in. Let's see how this year turns out based on the goals that I've placed on here. I was not strategic with how I set up the goals, so I don't hit bingo right away. But we're going to check in at the 6 month mark. So it's March now. March, April, May, June. I should know June is the 6 month. I didn't need to count that out. But um, yeah, so we're gonna, check this out. The number one doubt is, does any of this actually work? And I'm confident in saying yes. As I mentioned, the method that worked for me was the digital vision board. And maybe for you, the physical board does something for you. Maybe the act of physically going through the process in a way resonates more with you. And based on your lifestyle, having that physical board up does something for you. Like I said, find the method that works best for how you live your life, how you think, how your brain works. And I think being in your face, having it in your face consistently does something to you consciously, subconsciously, excuse me. So it's like that passive reminder effect. That's real, right? So seeing your board mid scroll or mid work session um, subconsciously pulls out the intention. So, you start thinking, oh, yeah, maybe this is something I can actually do today, or this week, or this month. How can I get ahead of it? And, this tool, it only works if you don't ignore it. So, being able to plaster it in places where you're constantly looking, it's hard to ignore, which is why placement and format matters. In closing, if you are crafty, hands on, love tactile creation, the physical board is definitely for you, but come with a plan. If you are a more visual person, digital native, always on your laptop or phone, the digital board using Canva and Pinterest, or the alternatives to those platforms. You don't have to use those. Those are just the two platforms that I've used. Go with the digital board. So if you are goal oriented, love gamification, and love the idea of tracking your progress, try the bingo card. Utilize your SMART goals, convert those into topics on a 5x5 bingo card on Canva, and then include checkpoints, a 3 month checkpoint, maybe a 6 month, and a 12-month check-in. And at the end of the day, the best vision board is the one you'll actually look at. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. This was largely a short one, but I was inspired this morning to do this. So I hope you get something from it. If you like it, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you want to hear more content from me. Thank you and have a great day.